Today, I'm getting the Platinum Trophy on Assassin's Creed 2. And not only that, this is actually my first ever Assassin's Creed game I've ever played in my entire life. See, I heard so many people rave about how good the Assassin's Creed games are, and specifically how amazing Assassin's Creed 2 is. So I decided if I'm gonna start with getting a Platinum Trophy in any of these games, it has to be Assassin's Creed 2 so I can see what all the hype is about. Not only that, but Assassin's Creed 2 is only supposed to take about 20 to 30 hours, and I really didn't feel like spending 100 hours in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. At Assassin's Creed 2, there are 51 trophies, including the Platinum on the PS4 version, which is the one I am going to be playing today. And the only main one that a lot of people warned me about that was really horrible was the ones for the collectibles, specifically the 100 feathers, because this game, for some reason, doesn't track which ones you've collected and doesn't give you any indication of where they are. By the way, if you want to see me do the rest of the Assassin's Creed games and get the Platinum Trophy for those as well, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to help me reach 3,000 subs. We play as a guy named Desmond, and we meet up with this girl named Lucy, who seems like she just got off her first time of the month. Lucy then tells us that she needs our help, and so we need to hop into the Animus, which is basically a way to activate old people's memories. We do so that she can get a memory onto a flash drive, which will help her in the long run, and so we go inside of the Animus and witness childbirth from the outside, which honestly probably traumatized the shit out of us.
I've been traumatized!
After reliving my PTSD from 7th grade and middle school, I ended up getting a trophy for watching the birth of an assassin. After that, Lucy pulls us out of the Animus because the guards are coming after us, and she tells us that we should come with her. We follow her, then beat up some guards in the parking lot, and we ended up getting stuffed in the back of Lucy's car, which made me think that I actually got kidnapped, but I got a trophy for it, so I'm okay with it. It turns out that Lucy's actually working with two other people, Rebecca and Sean, who we get to meet, and it turns out that they are trying to plan a renaissance against the company that we just escaped from named Abstergo. Their plan is to use this new Animus that they have created in order to get the memories of an old assassin named Ezio Auditore, which is the person that we watch be birthed. After a bit of persuasion, Desmond decides to join the cause and hops into the new Animus, which gives us this trophy here and lets us play as Ezio Auditore, one of the greatest video game characters ever. So now we are Ezio Auditore inside of the Animus 2.0, and we get to do things that an Italian man is very well known for doing in the Italian Renaissance, like beating up a bunch of French people, racing our dad across the rooftops, and creating what is basically the origin of pretty much. After this, a lot of this chapter was basically just us doing tasks for our father and doing a bunch of chores, and also getting acquainted with the controls of the game. Along the lines, I got a trophy for sprinting for 100 meters, which isn't a lot considering how much you run in this game. After that, our dad gets taken to prison, and he tells us that we need to use our special ability at our house, which when we do so, we are able to find our assassin clothing, which looks sick. We delivered this letter to this guy who says that he'll handle everything in the morning and everything's gonna be just fine. Yeah, he lied to us, and our dad and our brother are hung in front of a live studio audience. After seeing this and being completely traumatized and filled with revenge, we book it out of there and get a trophy for finishing the first chapter of the game. The next chapter had us learning a bunch of different skills in order for us to be more sneaky and have more stealth in the game, which led to me getting a trophy that is very well known in the Assassin's Creed community for hiding 5 dead bodies in a bale of hay. After this, we take revenge into our own hands and assassinate the guy who killed our father and our brother. Once that is said and done, because we are a wanted family, we take our mom and our sister to safety and get them out of the village and take them to our uncle. And that's where the chapter ends, and that's where we get our next trophy here. We're now into chapter 3, where we meet our uncle, who ends up dropping the craziest line of the entire game.
Don't you recognize me? It's me, Mario!
Hello, Mario.
Uncle Mario says we need to train before we can go ahead and take revenge, and so he invites us to his villa named Monteriggioni, which is basically our entire hub area that we spend throughout the course of the game. After training for about 4 years, Mario invites us to go and kill Vieri with him and assassinate him. This guy has basically been a pain in our ass since the very beginning of the game, and after killing him, we managed to finish the 3rd chapter of the game and get this trophy here. Vieri is from a family called the Pazzi, which Mario wants to take down, and so Ezio agrees to help him out by assassinating the entire Pazzi family, which is what the main premise of this game is all about. Before we leave on to our next mission though, we get introduced to the upgrade system for the stronghold, where we're able to upgrade buildings, and that will make our shops better and cheaper. We'd have to do this a lot later on for a very grindy trophy, but we got a very easy one right here for just upgrading one building in the stronghold. Now that we're into chapter 4, we meet this guy who tells us about this assassin's tomb that he's located. There are 6 throughout the entirety of the world, and each of them will give us a trophy for completing them. A lot of these are platforming challenges where we have to use the parkour system, but they also have a little bit of puzzles scattered throughout each of them as well. This one we had to chase this guy out of there and before it all collapsed. After completing this, I got a trophy. Something else that Assassin's Creed is known for are the viewpoints, which there are 73 total in the game, and this is how you unlock more of the map and are able to see things in your surrounding. These are very useful in the game, and I was going to get all of them anyways, but I got a trophy here for synchronizing 10 viewpoints. I then climbed this really tall building in the middle of the first area of the game, and after synchronizing the viewpoint, I jumped off of the building and got a trophy for that as well. After this, we had our next target named Francesco, which we ended up climbing up this huge building, fighting a bunch of his men, and then finally chasing him across the rooftop and assassinating him and leaving him out for the rest of the public to see, which completed chapter 4 and gave us this story trophy here. As we start off chapter 5, I decided to do a bunch of side miscellaneous trophies that I needed to do one way or another, so I started off with doing one of the side quests, which is defending a woman's honor. Basically, some woman will tell you about her husband who is cheating, so you have to go and beat him up. And while I may have accidentally stabbed the woman that he was cheating with, I did actually put an end to it. So that's good, right? Anyway, here's the trophy for that. I then went back to our hub villa where there are 8 statuettes that are missing, and I found all of them and got this trophy here for that. Then I decided to take care of a miscellaneous combat trophy, which is for performing an air assassination on a poisoned enemy, which all you have to do to poison someone is just prick them with this little hidden blade feature here, and then you can perform an air assassination and get that trophy just like that. I then did 2 other optional side quests that you can find throughout the multiple different areas in this game, and both of them require just locating someone, chasing them down, and killing them. One for finishing my first ever assassination contract, and one for intercepting a bourgeois courier. Afterwards, we tried eavesdropping on these 2 guys and all of their henchmen, and unfortunately, we weren't stealthy enough and we got caught. But since I'm such a badass, I was able to break free and escape, and got this trophy for finishing off chapter 5. Now, chapter 6 had a lot of side questing that I decided to do, and I decided to get a lot of miscellaneous trophies on top of that as well. It all started with me finding my first of Subject 16's videos, and there are 20 of these in the game spread throughout all the different parts of Assassin's Creed 2. There are 2 parts of this, one for using your eagle vision to scan a hieroglyph, which I got a trophy for doing that for the first time, and then you have to do a puzzle in order to unlock the password to the glyph, which I did that and got a trophy for finishing that for the first time as well, so 2 for the price of 1. And I'm happy to say that I did not use a single guide or tutorial in order to find these or to complete them whatsoever.
Stop the cap.
I then found my next tomb, which was in this giant cathedral that I had to scale up, which was really cool with the platforming and made me really appreciate it. After finishing that, we got a trophy for completing it. Then I decided I wanted to be the worst person in the world, and I decided to be a racist.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
No. I mean, I seriously was racing someone, and I beat him and got a trophy for it. Come on, get your mind out of the gutter. And finally, after working on this trophy for a couple hours at this point, I managed to pickpocket $1,000 worth of money, which surprisingly is still not as much money as your mom makes from prostitution. After being the most morally correct man in all of Italy, we ended up helping out our buddy Leonardo, who was taking this carriage to another part of Italy when suddenly it got attacked, and we had to fight these guys off while Leonardo steered, and honestly, I have no idea how we survived this. We should have died like 20,000 times. But miraculously, we made it out alive and managed to make it to our new area of the game. And in this area, I was able to dye my clothes a brand new fancy color, which gave me this trophy right here. After exploring this new city for a little bit, I found another assassin's tomb, and this one was in the sewers. This was a kind of annoying one where you had to do some stealths and some parkouring throughout the sewers, and I didn't really like it that much, but I did get a trophy afterwards after I complete it, which I did enjoy. So there you go. We then met up with Leonardo again at this boat, and we were trying to convince this guy to take us to Venice, and he absolutely refused. So instead, we went and brought this woman over to him, and he was like, and so he led us on his ship, and we completed the chapter and got the trophy. After this, we took a little bit of a break from playing as Ezio and went back to the real world where we played as Desmond. Lucy took us down to this warehouse so we could test to see if we somehow could use the Animus to learn from Ezio and get his abilities in the real world. And while I was about to do this parkouring section, the scariest thing of all happened. My game crashed. After booting it up, I went through this parkouring section like I was supposed to, and we figured out that you are able to translate the abilities that you learn from inside the Animus to outside of the Animus. So we go back into the Animus to continue playing as Ezio and get a trophy for that section. Now we're into chapter 7, and this is where we're in our final area of the game that we will spend the rest of the game in, which is Venice. And I got a trophy right off the bat for buying a piece of art here, which you need to buy a piece of art from Florence and Venice, and so I bought one in Venice and we got this trophy. All this time we were chasing after this girl assassin who was way faster than us and way more agile, and while I was chasing after her, I decided to go for one of the hardest combat related trophies, which was for killing 10 enemies while remaining in conflict without getting hit. I used these smoke grenades and that made it really easy, but I had to pretty much use every single one of them, but thankfully I got this done and got the trophy for it. After that, we caught up with the girl, and we met a bunch of her friends as well, and they seemed to be on our side, which was really good for us. They were able to teach us how to climb quicker and more efficiently, and we also made a plan to assassinate one of the Pazzi who was located in Venice at the moment anyways. Our plan went off without a hitch by taking out the archers on the rooftops and replacing them with our men instead. And then I had this really weird glitch in this cutscene where some men just happened to be in it as well, and they started glitching through everybody, so that was really funny. After that cutscene was over, we ended up infiltrating this building and assassinating the guy that we were after. And for some reason in this world, if you assassinate someone, that building becomes yours. And we took it over and got the trophy for finishing chapter 7. I started off chapter 8 with a bang by finishing another assassin's tomb, which once again would give us another trophy after finishing it. This one was really cool because we had to do 4 separate parkour challenges and they were all timed. And after I finished that, I got a trophy for finishing it like all the others. I then got a trophy that I thought was bugged for me for a while, but it was for spending $5,000 or florins, which is this game's currency, on, well, let's just say hookers. Let's be completely honest here. And after spending that much, I got a trophy for that. After spending that much money on women, I also figured that my money wasn't worth anything anyways, so I tossed more than 300 of florins on the ground, and that gave me another trophy here. Our goal was to assassinate a guy that was inside this heavily guarded area, and we couldn't just walk inside or scale the building because of all the guards surrounding it. So we went to Leonardo, who actually came up with this idea and this contraption that would let us fly, and it was here that we got our only one missable trophy that's in this game. And thankfully it's really easy, and all you have to do is kick one of the enemies off the roof as you're using this flying section here. But after that we had this stealth section where we couldn't get caught like usual, and we had to assassinate this guy, which we did without a hitch, getting the story trophy for chapter 8. Now, chapter 9 started exactly how chapter 8 started, where I went to another assassin's tomb, and I finished this one with absolute ease. Like I said, these are nothing difficult for me at this point, and all of them give me a trophy for finishing it. So I got a trophy for finishing it. I know, crazy. Chapter 9 was all about infiltrating this party, which we needed a special mask in order to get, so we had to go to a carnival and do a bunch of mini games in order to get the mask. And after we had that, we were able to infiltrate the party and assassinate the guy that was inside, getting us another trophy for beating this chapter. Now, chapters 10 and 11 were relatively really quick, so I decided to rush through them at this point and just beeline to the end of the story, or at least so I thought. Chapter 10 was all about working with this guy named Bartolomeo and killing a guy named Silvio, which I managed to do on this giant pirate ship in front of all of his men, so that must have been really embarrassing, and I got a trophy for doing so. And then what seemed to be like the last chapter in the entire game was chapter 11, where we had to catch up to the Spaniard and intercept him because he had what was called the Golden Apple. It was foretold that there was someone named the Prophet who would need to be in possession of both the staff and the golden apple, and that ended up being us. We also got the revelation that everybody, including all of the people that we have been friends with so far, were also assassins, and we found this out after we defeated the Spaniard. And that ended off this story chapter as well by all of us diving off of this building here. So now we got to a part of the game that really confused me, because now we got to chapters 12 and 13. These chapters were different from the others because we didn't get a trophy for completing them. That's because they were DLC from the original game, which was now integrated into the PS4 version on the Ezio collection, which I was playing on. So instead of going over these, I rather just skip through them and instead tell you the trophies that I got while playing them. For instance, I got a trophy for getting every single hidden blade, item pouch, and armor upgrade for Ezio, which basically just equivalated to me spending a ton of money. Alongside that, I also found and finished the final Assassin's Tomb in the game, which I got the trophy for here. After that, I decided to finish off the final 2 miscellaneous combat trophies that I had left. One was for stunning 4 guards by throwing sand in their face, and this one wasn't too bad. It took a little bit of time to get used to, but I was able to get this relatively easily. The hard one was by sweeping 5 guards at once by using a long weapon, and this was one of the most janky things ever and took a long time to do, but thankfully I got it and the trophy alongside it. And at long last, it was time for us to finally finish our final chapter of Assassin's Creed 2 and finish the main story, where our main target was the Pope. Yep, that's right, life really imitates art, doesn't it? But something that really annoyed me in this chapter was finding out that I needed every single codex page in the game in order to beat it. This wasn't really that hard to do, and I already been collecting most of them throughout the course of the game, but it did kind of suck to realize that you need to be collecting everything in order to beat the game in general. But with that, we found the location of the Pope, and we got our final boss fight. And this was kind of cool, but also kind of stupid, because all I did was just mash the attack button and just kept fighting him over and over in this corner. And I found that really freaking funny. But after that, we have this whole dialogue sequence with this lady who tells us that we are the Prophet and that we are destined for greatness. We get a trophy for completing the final sequence of the game, and then we are sent out of the Animus, and we have to escape from the hideout. And we end up beating these guys up during this credit sequence, and after the credits are done rolling, we get the final trophy of the game for beating Assassin's Creed 2. So now it's time for the cleanup, which thankfully I've done most of the cleanup already just throughout playing the game and exploring and doing all the miscellaneous stuff that I knew that I had to do ahead of time. But what I needed to do was finish off the collectibles mainly. So the first thing I went ahead and did was finish all of Subject 16's videos. Like I said, there's 20 of these, and using a definitely not a YouTube video, I was able to find these relatively easily and solve the puzzles, and I got a trophy for finishing all of them. The next trophy I got was for reaching 80% of our stronghold's total value. This is really easy to do by spending money, and the more money you spend, the more money you earn in real time. Every 20 minutes you earn some money in a chest that you can collect, so this wasn't too hard to do, and I was able to do this relatively easily by upgrading every single one of my buildings, and I got that trophy right here. And the final 2 trophies I had in the game all were about collecting the feathers. There were 100 total in the game, and I think at this point I had around like 25 that I had collected throughout the main story, but I wasn't necessarily seeking them out. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, the game does not track which ones you've collected, nor do they give you a hint of where they are at all. So I want to shout out this guy on YouTube. He has awesome videos showing every single one of their locations in depth, and I followed that to a T, which made finding them all really easy, just a little bit tedious. But after a couple hours, I collected my final feather, which I got this trophy here for, and then after that, I went and deposited them all, which gave me the Auditore cape. This is a cape that basically makes it so that you're easily spotted by any authority figures, and so what I had to do was I had to wear this cape in every single city. After that, I popped this trophy here, followed by the platinum right after. So that was the Assassin's Creed 2 Platinum Trophy experience, and honestly, I absolutely love this game. I see why this game is heralded as the best in this series. Obviously, I haven't played any others in the series, and I'm very excited to play more. This has just got me really interested in this series, and I'm definitely down to do more of them if people want me to. But I really enjoyed this one. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, especially with the feathers. They were very easy to track, thankfully, because of some of the YouTube videos that I followed. But also, I just had a blast throughout the whole thing. I felt like I was unlocking trophies very consistently, and it was just really fun from start to finish. Anyhow, guys, thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button to show your support for the channel. Let me know in the comment section below if there's any specific platinum trophies that you want me to go for, and be sure to drop a subscription as well so you don't miss any new videos when they come out. Anyhow, guys, have a good one. See you later.